we talk a lot about the traumatic relationship, the one that created the first scars and the toxicity and how hard they are to get through. And we don't talk nearly as much about the relationships that come after that maybe really healthy people and healthy relationships come up, and how hard they are. Because you went from being, a trusting, open person to learning that people lie, to learning that you can get hurt, to learning all those traumas, and then you're bracing for them. You meet this new person and they can be really happy and healthy and things are going really well. And there's a part of you that goes, oh, well, this should be easy now. Like, this should be good. And when it actually ends up being really hard, I think that catches a lot of people by surprise. And I just want to validate, like, if you are in that circumstance, you're not alone. You're not being over dramatic, and it's okay that it's hard. It being hard doesn't mean it's not right or that it isn't a healthy relationship. It's just going to take time to repair the scar tissue from the relationships before. It's difficult because, when something happens in these newer relationships, it might be something really small, but that person will be paying the time not only for their crime, but for the crimes of the people beforehand. So the intensity and the pain and the bracing that you do in that new relationship is so much more, because they're not just living their relationship and your relationship story, but the reality is you are somewhat living the relationship story from the time before. So yeah, I don't feel like it's talked about enough, and I've personally been in this circumstance, and I just think there were moments where I was like, oh God, like, it shouldn't be this hard, like, really beating myself up, because it almost felt like I was the problem now, like I went from being the one that was like always fixing the problems and the healthy one in the toxic relationship to being the person in the new relationship that felt like I was bringing the toxicity, that I was bringing the problems, because I had all these wounds and hesitations and paranoias from like my previous relationship that I'd never had to deal with before. But I just really want to validate that you're not over dramatic, you're not crazy. That difficulty doesn't mean that this relationship's not the right relationship for you. You just need to understand it's part of the healing process. Part of repairing of that scar tissue is hopefully finding another person that does have the bandwidth and the capacity to sit with you through those challenges and talk with you through those challenges and support you through those challenges, so that you can end up in the future with a different framework for relationships than you have right now. But yeah, just understand that sometimes the healthy relationship that comes after the toxic relationship can be just as hard, if not harder, in its own way, and that's okay.